Put your hand there. Hey, classic series for December 2014. In case you didn't read the clapboard.
Right, in case you didn't read the clockboard.
It's good. Clapboard.
Clapboard.
It's nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here. I'm kind of fired up today.
Yeah, well, somebody said, I got a phone call this morning from a very, very old friend in New Mexico, the Placitas mountain range, and he says, is Ed just angry all the time, or what is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
That pretty well. I think that pretty well says
Is
it.
that
I mean,
the Sicilian thing? Or what?
no. You know, I mean, it's just that I really wanted to do better in the wine business. So I have decided I'm leaving the wine business. This will be my last telecast because I now am going to become a concert pianist. That's right. Because
By this, you're hearing it, folks. You're hearing it here today for the first time.
I saw one of these guys
It's unbelievable.
play. I think, yeah, and he was. I think he was really, really good. And I think I want to do that.
You know, my dad. I have to send. My dad will have to send it. He's so enamored with this. I don't know, German or Jewish or Russian. I don't know. This gal. She's 7 or 8 years old. I can't remember her name now. Shoot. She's all over YouTube. She's absolute genius prodigy piano player. So you've got your work cut out for you, Ed.
Hey, I'm just a late bloomer. Okay?
Just so you guys don't know, Ed had not only worked at the Wiener Schnitzel, he's also a pretty adept audiophile.
Yeah, pretty adept.
I mean, when I was a kid, I was, what was it, about 9 or 8, I went into your house and like the whole living room was consumed with equipment.
Now it not quite as bad. Girls don't like that sort of thing.
But you still use vacuum tube equipment.
I do biamp my speakers. I have 5 channels, 5.1, and I biamp them, and all of the mids and high ranges have tubes.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. There's a huge difference.
It's a big difference.
Because I A/B'd them with a friend of mine, and we both looked at each other at the same time, and our mouths went, really?
That's interesting.
I mean,
That's really interesting.
Anyway, you want to talk about wine or what?
Yeah, let's do some wine. So what do we got?
Well,
Gaborda?
we've got Gabarda
Now, you know,
Tempranillo.
this wine is actually better than when I sample. I love the wine as a sample, but when it landed here, it was smoother than it was, and maybe it's from the boat ride. And, of course, we were very worried because it could have gotten hung up in this dock strike.
Well, you know, the last time I saw you after a boat ride, you were a lot smoother.
Oh, that was, I'm horrible with boats, trust me.
No, me too. I don't get on those things.
This is ridiculous. This is a 2012 Tempranillo.
This
from,
is.
Oh, it's
I mean,
Grenache in there. I didn't realize that.
it's an incredible buy. I mean, you know, $18.99 on the shelf, $7.99 on the reorder price,
Yeah,
and
notice.
I'm smelling and tasting this, going, Paul screwed up again. This is a limited series wine. This is not classic series.
You know what I like about it? You get the character of both grapes.
You get everything in there. You got
Right.
you've got some authority. You've got some nice fruit. You've got some. You know, this is a God. What a great wine to have with smoked brisket. You know, man, what a nice nose. It's got that little dustiness. It almost tastes like, you know, Rutherford Hill and Rutherford Valley in Napa Valley. But then, you know, the taste is obviously not Cabernet Sauvignon.
You get the spiciness of the Tempranillo, and then you get the sort of blueberry bomb of the Garnacha, and it's just. And both grapes do great in Spain. This is from Cariñena.
Cariñena, yeah. And that's a great area. I mean, sooner or later, they're going to figure out their prices are too low, and we're going to have to spend more money for them. Anyway, I'm doing a 95 on this. I think it's exceptional.
I agree. Boy, that's something.
Delicious wine.
I keep finding new flavors as I'm tasting it. You know?
Well, don't stop now.
All right, here's one. This is my good old friend, Fred Gold. Used to sell us for Victoire. Remember Victoire Imports?
Yep.
And he's sort of retired, but he still likes finding interesting wines. And it's a Spanish white as well for the month. So it's Valdepeñas district, and it's, you know, we don't get grapes like this all the time.
Arian?
When do we get to taste grapes like this?
I kind of have to question using that name. I mean, you know, is it
Aryan race?
Yeah, it's an Aryan race. I mean, yeah, you know, we've had problems with those before.
Yeah, that could be. And I hope it's not Himmler looking for the Aryan race in the Himalayas.
It's races.
Did you know that he went to the Himalayas? That's where they thought the Aryan race started.
No, I did.
Himmler. I'm like want to go to his castle, which is in the northeast of Germany, where they now make a museum out of it.
This is really a spectacular wine, and it's just got some very unique flavors to it. You know, it's wonderful nose. It's it's kind of almost creamy in the nose, but there's no oak on this whatsoever.
I remember when I bought this, and I kept saying, "Okay, what is this?" And I
Yeah.
tasted the next vintage. I said, "I'm going to skip a vintage." I went to the next vintage, which is this 13, and it was just as good and fresh. And I think, okay, they're making, sometimes the reliability of the winemaker is so important. This is the second vintage that I've tasted. There's something, I'm not getting marzipan, but I'm getting some kind of
I know what you're talking about,
nut component.
and I'm getting a little grapefruit zest. Not grapefruit, but grapefruit zest. And you're right. There's a nuttiness in there, but it's not like any nut I can figure out. It's very odd.
Hazelnut just before the finish.
But it's like slightly toasted nuts. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever it is, it's delicious. And this got a really snappy finish. I mean, you talk about nice, crisp acidity. This has got it. $17.99 on the shelf, $6.99 at a reorder price. You can't buy a wine, I guess, for $7. Who are you kidding? Oysters, absolutely, just incredible.
Now, if I can get Sandra to eat oysters, because she's allergic to shellfish.
Well,
Probably not a good idea.
The only reason why you might want to have her eat oysters is to get rid of her.
Think it'll go with this?
No.
The Hot Pocket. Why is this in here? Chorizo egg cheese.
I don't know. This is where the closet eaters come. Anyway, I'm doing a 94 on that. I think it's
I'm
spectacular.
doing 95. I think it's interesting.
Okay. What do I do with this bottle now? I don't know what to do with this one. Anyway.
Oak Grove, our good old friend Jeff Dye just keeps bringing the hits, and he actually brought me a wine yesterday. I'm supposed to look at it, and I'm just saying, how many wines can I do from the guy? But when he keeps bringing us such great values, I have no choice.
Well,
this was just a classic.
I opened the Petite Syrah the other day again, and I just couldn't believe how good that wine was for the money. One we featured last month.
This is just, I like he's at least just done the label a little interesting.
I really like this wine because it doesn't taste like Syrah. I'm sure there's other stuff
Actually,
in
it
here.
kind of tastes like Petite Syrah.
Well, it does kind of taste like Petite Syrah, but it tastes like it might have some Grenache in there, which I would assume it does.
But I'm looking at this, a honey barbecue sauce on pork ribs. This would fly.
Well, yeah, pork ribs, any kind of treatment on pork ribs would be great on this. It's $15.99 on the shelf and $7.99 on the reorder price. Again, a great value. It's got a little bit of a kind of like I said, a little dusty component, like the
but plenty of
Gombarda.
fruit.
Yeah, plenty of fruit.
Plenty of fruit. So it's not this. It's not trying to be a South of France gamey, beefy. It's just nice, bright California fruit with a wonderful mid palate. I think it's great.
Yeah,
It's a 94 for me.
I'm doing a 93, but you can do whatever you want. It's fine.
I think it's
It's really okay.
I appreciate the opportunity. Now here's something that Ed really was excited about when I brought it out here.
Now, this is
First
another
of all, Chardonnay, which is not his favorite.
another example of. Are you kidding me?
It's vegan wine.
Vegan wine.
I bought the wine because of its character, not because of Ed's objection to vegan wines.
Jeez.
The concept of, but what would that institute, right? Why would a wine even be non-vegan in the first place?
Well, there's no way. I mean, there's no animal products in
yes, egg whites. Fining with egg whites.
Possibly, but they don't do egg whites anymore because they're too expensive. They run through membrane filters, which are which is faster and easier and a lot less money.
So there's really no reason to call it vegan unless, if they did use egg whites or any other, I don't know. Does that mean maybe there's no animal byproducts in the vineyard too, like manure or something?
Well, I don't know that manure is an animal byproduct.
Well, what else
to a
would it be?
vegan. I don't know. That's hard. That's an interesting question. You'll have to ask a vegan. I don't really know any because I try to walk on the other side of the street. But
Well, it is a sustainable farm, which is the highest level of bio-friendly or green that you can get for a vineyard. So
right.
And then apparently they don't use egg whites or any animal byproduct to filter the wine. So you can consider this a vegan wine. I wasn't even aware that it existed in the first place.
Me neither.
But I think it's a great Chardonnay.
It is a great Chardonnay. I mean, it has a component that I normally don't like, which is that butterscotch component, which comes from the vanilla out of the oak barrels. But it's held in such nice check.
It is.
And it's got such great acidity in the finish. I can't emphasize the importance of acidity in wine as much ever because it really needs to have good acidity. If it doesn't, then when you have it with food, it just goes.
This is nice, and this is very firm. I mean, the wine's very firm.
Very firm.
So it gives you a nice chance to pair it with foods.
2012, so it's already got 2 years of age on it, and it's still got a lot of authority. So it's got a few years to go.
It's a 95 for me.
Yeah, I'm
That's
doing
great.
a 93. I think I'll use it. I mean, I give it to my Chardonnay drinking friends. I might even join them. You never know.
And then tell them it's vegan.
Yeah, and that's
Wait a minute.
$15.99.
Why don't you serve the vegan Chardonnay with a big rack of ribs? Or a big chicken.
No, foie gras. Yeah. Let's just pull out all the stops, okay? $15.99 on the shelf, $6.99 reorder price. Go get a Chardonnay for $6.99.
Hey, happy holidays.
And that's our show.
Push that button over there.
What? Stop button?